Desde el hondo cruzo de la patria se levanta el clamor popular, ya se anuncia la nueva alborada, todo Chile comienza a cantar, recordando el soldado valiente, cuyo ejemplo se hiciera inmortal. Enfrentemos primero la muerte, traicionar a la patria más. Venceremos, venceremos, mil cadenas habrá que romper. Venceremos, venceremos, al fascismo sabremos vencer. Venceremos, venceremos, mil cadenas habrá que romper. Venceremos, venceremos, al fascismo sabremos vencer. Campesinos, soldados y obreros, la mujer de la patria también, estudiantes, empleados, mineros, cumpliremos con nuestro deber, sembraremos la tierra de gloria, socialista será el porvenir, todos juntos haremos la historia, a cumplir, a cumplir, a cumplir. Venceremos, venceremos, mil cadenas habrá que romper. Venceremos, venceremos, al fascismo sabremos vencer. Venceremos, venceremos, mil cadenas habrá que romper. Venceremos, venceremos, al fascismo sabremos vencer.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I guess my voice is going over. Yeah, I'm doing a redo of yesterday's stream because essentially, oh, let me get my beautiful mug up there. Essentially, here's what for about 2 seconds up on the screen last night was a screenshot of our agreement with Valve for our page on Steam, complete with the transaction number and the receipt number and all of that. And here's the thing. YouTube, their video editing like options really suck. It takes it an hour, several hours, especially with like a long video, long form, like just rambling video like I made yesterday, for it to even um, get it into an editable state. So I said, it's not like Kim Jong Un and everything, and everything that comes out of this hole here is really important and has to be saved forever. So I just got rid of it, and we're going to redo it today because I took care of about it. Oh, jeez, I forget how many. I think 2 things last night, and we got a bug report in from our guy Wayne, and let me tell you, he dropped well about 40 of the items that he has the bugs that I was not aware of. They're easily fixable. I could probably get about 10 done in an hour. But there are just another there's a significant amount of stuff that I thought worked, but apparently does not, and it's gonna have to talk with the folks, and I don't know. It just it is what it is. So here's one thing: is I really wanted to add more lobster traps. We need more lobster traps, and I could have sworn I put some, but really, on a recent trip out to Cliff Island, I forget that. I mean, lobster fishermen, the remaining lobster fishermen out there, lobstermen out there, lobster women. By the way, the oldest lobster woman in Maine, and I think really the oldest harvesting lobster, she's 104 years old and has been doing this her entire working life. I can't imagine the changes that she's seen. I mean, I bet that when she was young, she could pull 20-pound lobsters out of the ocean. Well, probably about 5 to 10 pound. And now she's like, yeah, if we're lucky to get a pound or whatever. Because, oh my God, I mean, really, when I hear people, oh yeah, I got a pound and a quarter lobster. I mean, that shouldn't even be legal. Anyway, it's just stupid. Anyway, so what was I going to do? Yeah, there's always something on here that needs to be taken care of. And let's see, and bark stuff, stickers, signs, change menu sounds. Actually, there are things that I could check off of this list right now in this, but we have to go to page 30 and check them out. Like, for example, he said the front of the school bus has low texture that's not in sync with the rest of the bus, so I'm going to take a look at that. Maybe there's an LOD issue or something. So, yeah. And what's really strange about streaming, again on YouTube, is I know that nobody is really going to show up probably for the first like 45 minutes. And then about an hour and a half, suddenly like 2 or 3 people are going to show up. And yes, I consider 3 or 4 people showing up to be an amazing. I mean, 4 would be legendary. If we don't like, if it's not another visit from like the crazy puppet people, and that's a story unto itself. Anyway, I'm just sitting here, just doing the stuff. And let's see here. Yeah. So let's see. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about Steam. We have been neglecting our Steam page because, quite frankly, the game was nowhere near Steam worthy when we first set up that page and we first opened it. And this is a good. I mean, for those people who are like actually paying attention at the beginning, this is a good little Easter egg for you. If you're a game developer and you want your game to have a little bit more legitimacy, pay the $100 or whatever charge it is to get on Steam, because then all of a sudden your game gets propagated as a legitimate project across all social networks. And understand, don't depend on Steam for your legitimacy. In our case, it just bolstered the legitimacy that we had. Because again, we've been working on this game now since coming up on 7 years total. People say, well, goodness gracious, it's taking a long time. Scorn took 8 years, and it's a far simpler game. And I think the reason that it took them a long time, and I don't think I need to apologize if anybody from Eastern Europe is, I mean, say, for example, the Balkans. I will say specifically the Balkans. If any Peace Island fans, and I know we have them because we've sent premiums down that way, North Macedonia, etc. Can't call it Macedonia. Greece will get angry. Anyway, let's see, and such. But I don't think it's going to really surprise anybody or really insult anybody from the Balkans if I say there's a little bit of corruption in that area. Trust me, if you want me to talk about American corruption, trust me, I could talk all freaking day. So grant me this one thing to just acknowledge again what any good Croat, Serb, is going to tell you. Bosnia is going to tell you, yep, that's the way it is down here. Anyway. And I guarantee, because Scorn was made, it was a Serbian project. And I mean, Serbia has its own special brand of craziness going on, But yeah, it's going to go into the bus. Lost my train of thought there. But yeah, we got our Steam page up. And we sort of neglected it, but recently I started the process. I want to start the process of getting the builds up on Steam, because as it is right now, every time we release, we have to have basically everybody has to re-download, everybody has to, et cetera, et cetera. And I would rather it so that especially people who play the game, who are no longer patrons, can still get access to it once they've unsub from our Patreon thing, and they can get that through a Steam key. And I started that process last night. Look at this. Okay, that's troublesome. It's like you see, that is supposed to be, that's an important piece of story right there, and it's like it's gone. What the heck is going on? All the stuff that used to work is no longer working. Anyway, so anyway, yeah, Steam got that up there. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep my brain. Got that up there, and that was kosher. But we had to, because again, we've been just so busy with getting the project. Oh goodness, yeah, that texture's crap. Um, yeah, even when compared to, I mean, it is all low texture, but that is especially specifically crap. Let me see here. Let me take a look at the texture on that. And when I got on, I mean, I'm gonna have to later on tonight do a little bit of just like as much like maybe Steam hob, if there's such a thing as Steam hobnobbing, because I should go on there and go, hey, we're still here, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I don't want to give Steam people I mean, because it's an old social community, and I didn't mean to neglect them. But it is what it is. And I think I can see what the issue is here. Let me see here. Photoshop, excellent. Oh, by the way, today, and this is something I could talk about really quick. I can bring you back to this. If you're not aware, in 2015, no, 2000, I forget which year now. I think it was 2017 or 2018. But anyway, Anthony Bourdain passed away, the celebrity chef guy. And I just want to, number one, to take a second off from my stream to give a tip of the hat to Anthony Bourdain and say, God damn it, I wish he hadn't done that. Because essentially he took his own life, unfortunately, because he suffered from serious depression. And the thing about Bourdain, to me personally, is that I started watching him just because on a Saturday afternoon, and you live in New Jersey, and there's nothing but gray pavement everywhere. And you don't own a car, and you really can't. I just watch his like marathons on, I think, the Discovery, on Travel Channel or whatever. And he was his way. Through him, I just like learned how to cook for myself. Basically, for the first time, I learned how to cook. Basically a bunch of stuff. And he was he opened the door to the wonderful world of being able to cook for yourself. And I learned a lot of stuff from him. I mean, etc. And he was also a really cool guy. Yeah, and after he passed away, I said I wanted to pay homage to him, and so we added Rue Bourdon here is where Boyd's Lobster Shanty is, right over there, and where the Hotel de la Paix. This is sort of like Little France. This one street here. So yeah, that's why. But anyway, and yeah, here's the thing: is if you're not aware, Anthony Bourdain, he passed. Oh, let me see the I'm sure 2048 by 2048, and this is 2048. How come we have such low? Hold on. Let's see if I can re-import this. Yeah, but I'm sorry. Back to the depressing story. Yeah, and we got to some people leaving already. That's totally cool. Because again, these are more from my pit. But yeah, he passed away because he had a problem with depression, and he was in basically the nicest hotel in all of Europe, and et cetera, et cetera. And he was still feeling miserable. And he did it in a way that was just basically very much a statement. And it's unfortunate. Yeah, there's something really wrong with it. I think I'm going to have to really look into what happened here, because that's a 2048 texture. It should not be that fuzzy. I mean, hold on. Maybe we're seeing crunch texture compression. Let me see here. I think that may be it. Let me see. I think this is what we have here. 25. That's why, baby. Take that up to about 50%. It looks so much better. Yes, apply. Move that to 50. Because imagine, I mean, if you're I mean, it is something. It's the same thing that got Philip Seymour Hoffman. Unfortunately, I'm sorry if this is triggering anybody, but just right. But for some reason, that really didn't improve things. This is why I don't like these omnibus textures. I mean, look at that quality. Let me bump that up to 100. Actually, well, crunch compression's good. We may just, I just may have to go in and create a custom, just go through and fix this texture myself. Because seriously, it should not be at 100% crunch. We do need crunch compression. But I mean, even at 100%, let's see if the quality of this text here, it improves marginally. At 2048, we should be getting better results. What I may do is, again, let me just open this up in Photoshop. So a gander at this. Yeah, we're going to have to do that. Take a look. Yeah, see? You see that pixelation? Let's just see, can I get it better? I believe I can get it better. It looks far more pixelated than it should be. I'm just going to run a test. Cat treat bag on my desk. Oh, by the way, for those people who are so bored or unfortunate enough to be tuning in, feel free to talk with me and ask questions or comment or tell me what's up in your life, because really, if you don't say something, it's going to be Grandpa Eric's Ramble Rama, and I'll be like, "Hey, that's what it was like back in the day." There we go. Yeah, it looks. This is why I do not like these hero textures, because it robs you of the ability to really find. Because look, this text here, you can see, is every bit as pixelated. It's just not good. It's as good as it gets. Oh, gosh. You know what we're going to do? We're going to put that on the back burner. Stuff we could take care of. Let's just see our game. A little bit of inside talk there for people at Annapurna Interactive. Let's see here. I expect usually the only people who tune are my mom and perhaps our playtester Wayne. And I mean, I haven't done Twitch in a while. I should do that. Maybe tomorrow. So, I'm putting some music on in the background, by the way, because I'm just getting kind of bored with listening to my own self. My mix. Throbbing Gristle, baby. Okay. Oh, gotta turn that down. All right. I don't know if anybody is listening. Tell me if they can hear music in the background. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this down just a little bit from here. Okay, so that texture may be something that we're going to have to put in the back burner. Okay, cool. Noted. Let's see. Check drone spawn. Let's see, telescope image. Oh yeah, I did want to. Checking drone spawn will be very simple, actually. We're just gonna take our game manager over into. Actually, that's a piece. But oh yeah, I was talking. Grandpa was talking about Steam. Let's see. But yeah, I plan on spending a little bit of time this evening, posting and just going, "Hey guys, didn't mean for this to happen," etc., etc. We totally value this, but here's the thing: there are so many social media outlets, and I'm the guy who runs our social media. What am I supposed to? I mean, there are so many places I could spend my time, and really, again, Steam. I mean, no offense to our big. I mean, feel free. I mean, the trolls, etc. Just spread what I'm about to say and take it out of context. But unfortunately, like I said, because of game functionality issues, Steam was on the back burner. In fact, it was on the list of things to put on the back burner. But now that we're like getting closer to a beta release, yeah, this is the time to address this. So we want to take our game manager to this. And we're going to just create a brand new scene. And just stick a good old-fashioned plane beneath it. Actually, it's terrain. So anyway, Grandpa Eric was talking about Steam. But yesterday I went on there for the first time. And dude, I had another one of these strange incidents that makes me, I guess in the popular consciousness, it would be one of these things where it's, Curb Your Enthusiasm, just, am I crazy or am I living in a world filled with crazy people? And I am convinced that I live in a world where there are some crazy people. And really, actually, I should say mentally ill, because I definitely could be, I don't want to, label anybody. I am on psychiatric medication to keep myself functional, basically. Let me see. Yeah, it's just like a couple of times during the long development years of this game, a couple of incidents have occurred where, let me move this. Opera has 1 at 1. In fact, I'm going to type down here. Hey, feel free to chat with me long. And actually, I get this out. Because I want to get my Patreon info back up on here, but I know I just dragged it way off. I may just have to redo it. Okay, kitty cat here. So what we have here is, let's see. Oh yeah, because all 9 cats in test mode are spawned. Okay, so drone respawn. Okay, spawn distance, and they need to last for longer. 60 seconds, I would say 180 or 150. The spawn. And the spawn distance, I'm going to take that down to about 10. Okay. 10, yeah. Distance from cat. I'm just going to say, let's do it to 7. Take that down a bit. Rotation speed. Oh, the drone was completely disabled. That's another problem. Could be. Let's see here. 7 spawn distance. Yeah, 10. Spawn time 150. Sorry, I wasn't thinking properly. Flash effect. Oh, what the heck? The drone object isn't there. That's very, very odd. Okay, well, that's cool, because it doesn't work. We're getting one thing off of the list. That's excellent. All right. Now, okay, so that explains why we've been having this issue. So what I want to do now is I want to go, I'm just going to save this as a drone test and just a drone test toss. Okay, we want to go to any. I said bar. So yeah, I had another one of those incidents, those Larry David incidents, where in the first of these Larry David sort of incidents that happened, it was like a couple of years ago, and it was when Stray announced that they were going to be, I think, something like 6 months to a year delayed in releasing. Know that feeling. And here's the is I remember that day because I just saw it like pop up. I don't follow any other cat game projects, Simply for the same reason that, some, directors, when they're redoing a movie, they never watch previous versions because they don't want to pollute their headspace. That's where I sort of am in response to any other cat games. I just am tangentially aware of them, but I don't follow them. But I saw that news, and I decided, this is a good time to post on our social media, and I posted just these words. And I mean, you can go back and see the tweet, I believe, still. It was literally just, hey, we heard that. Do you want to play a cat game? And are you disappointed that Stray has been delayed by 6 months? Would you like to check out our cat game while you wait? That was essentially all I had. Now, here's what happened. We unfortunately live in a world where people are sometimes, they identify themselves with the corporations they consume. For example, I mean, you just have to see the visceral reaction when Bud Light had a trans spokesman. And by the way, Bud Light is like the just worst, weakest beer ever made. I don't understand that, like, anybody would even actually go up and go, yes, I drink Bud Light. It's the only beer I can drink because anyway, I'm not going to go into it. Let's see. But here's the problem: is that we had this. I'm going to just bring up a cartoon that I posted to Facebook many moons ago, and I mean, it really sums up why this whole thing of people like going, oh yeah, I'm a Coke person, I'm a Budweiser man, or I wear these kind of jeans, and because it gets you to the mindset of defending a multi-million dollar, and sometimes multi-billion dollar corporation. Just see here. Again, trying to find pictures that I saved. See all photos. Okay, let's see. Photos of you. Your photos. Okay, yeah, it would be. There we go. I found it here. For those people who think, oh yeah, I totally am loyal to this brand because they care about me. This cartoon sums up your situation far better than I ever could. And hopefully you can read that. If you do not see, it's this little guy just snuggling up to this indifferent giant. And they say, I love you, multi-billion dollar company. And the giant picks the person up, rips them in half, sucks their blood out, and just throws them their carcass away. Indifferently, without ever even taking notice of that individual. That is the real situation with us and these corporations that we like to think care about us. Now, when this thing on Twitter happened, when I posted this just innocuous thing about, hey, if you feel, let's see, test run. This simple thing where I said, hey, if you feel like playing another cat game while you're waiting for Stray to come out, why don't you check out Peace Island? Donate $1 and you'll get early access, etc. Jeez, all my flash effect and everything is gone, and I forget exactly what it was called. Do I flash? I'll locate those. It's like the entire thing was taken away. I believe I have Drone in. Excellent. Let's see. There we go. Okay, excellent. All right, and yeah, the despawn sound is on. Okay, so let's run this kit cell. And so, here's what happened. A minute later, this kid came on. And I'm assuming that it's a young person because no one else could be that naive. And I don't mean to talk down to people. Oh, hello. Somebody. But instead of pretending I'm your friend, I pretend you're enemy. Oh, puppy. I think this is okay, cool. I think I know this is our, one of our puppet people. Listen, if you want to hang out, that's absolutely fine. But notice, I'm going to be. I got a very itchy band finger. If you bring your friends in and you continue to act as you were before, just saying. But your friends and yourself are more than free to hang out here. But again, if it's just going to be the nonsense, no, no tolerance. Anyway, let's see here. I'm waiting for. Hold on. Let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the drone spawn timing really way down so it happens quickly because we don't have time. 300, yeah, we don't have the time to waste for that. So we're going to just let's say every 10 seconds one of these guys is going to just come in and respawn. So but anyway, hello, yep, that's me. I do want to hang out. I won't harass me this time. Okay, that's cool. I could see maybe one of your friends or maybe somebody else. But anyway, I'm going to continue with Grandpa Eric's dissertation. Is that we had this kid who came on there on Twitter afterwards, and they were just absolutely livid because this kid. Oh, there he goes. Spawned in, excellent. It's still way off its center. Hold on. Let's see this. Whoop. Yeah, the flash effect is gone. That's so screwy. I do like that distance. So I gotta wait another. So yep, there it goes again. Excellent. It just seems to always be coming in at that vector. But here's the problem. That kid, he had that attitude of I really love Annapurna Interactive. And I feel I really need to step up and defend because it had to be explained to me later. This kid, when I posted, hey, while you're waiting for Stray to come out, why not check out Peace Island? This kid heard me saying, screw Stray, they're a bunch of losers, you should totally give us all your money. Even though that's nothing what I said. And so, and so what happened was that kid, he went home. And, okay, we checked the cats. I could see that the spawn mechanism and everything is really screwed up. I'm going to have to check in, let me see, Flash. Yeah, that whole drone spawn in there. But this guy, I had a back and forth with him, and it was one of these cases where it was sort of impossible to talk with this individual because they were angry, and they, I guess, had this idea in their head where I was making dissing, the Stray project, which I would never do. I will diss Annapurna Interactive, but never the Stray project and the people who work on it. Never, ever, ever. Because they're folks just like us who work very freaking hard. Okay, flash effect. There we go. Let's see, drone here. And but anyway, they went home. I mean, well, I don't think they ever left their bedroom. But what happened was, here's my dramatic screenplay of how I imagine it turned out. The kid, he went out and got himself about 5 or 6 Monster Energy drinks. And he started charging them and chugging them. And at a certain point, he said, this cannot stand. And he slammed his bedroom door shut and put on some really awful music, whatever probably I'm either thinking Slipknot or probably, Sade, maybe. That's an 80s callback reference for those of you who are still watching. But anyway. And, he went in there because what happened is this guy, he literally wrote, I mean, I found out the next morning while I was at a grocery store. Some people on the team, they got in touch with me. It's people that work on the game. I hate that word team. Anyway, they got a telephone call. They were going, somebody's published this thing on Tumblr about how evil and awful you are. And my first response was, oh, Tumblr's still around? I didn't know that still existed. And also, this guy indeed he had put up. I am imagining this was the biggest thing that had ever happened in this individual's life because they dedicated several hours to writing up this long dissertation about how absolutely awful I was for saying things that, of course, I've never said. just want to see if I can get that flash in of that on screen. I'm just because it seems to always be behind the cat. I'm gonna wait for the kitty to go. Well, no, it doesn't go away until we go because it's there for. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. I know what I need to do. Sorry. My brain. I need to concentrate. My brain. I need to concentrate on this a little bit more closely because we want this respawn. To be spawn time to be about. Let's just say 5. Because we want to make sure that it's always on screen. We can make sure we can see the flash. And the reason that kid did that very long, like weird dissertation about how evil I was is because, not because of anything that I said, because apparently I never said those things. I never even hinted on such a thing. But this kid had gotten in his head that it said something about his favoriteest game studio in the world, and he was very angry about that. And still don't have the flash effect when it disappears. Gonna have to probably download that again. Dang it! Oh well. And he got and anyway, that ended pretty quickly because it was again. I just know how to deal with people like this. Anyway, I'm going to see if anybody is oh, hello, Rowley. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's see. Yeah, so because this kid, because understand, Annapurna Interactive has successfully sold itself. It's sort of like this almost like a Santa's workshop sort of thing. This tiny little game studio where games are handmade, etc. And here's the problem with them. Last time I checked, they made $30 million a year. I think that's probably increased by, the standard number of percentages. And their CEO is worth $200 million. That company did not need this kid standing up for them because he heard insults in words that were never said. So it was one of those situations where, everybody on the team was going, oh my goodness, Eric, you should have never really posted anything like that. And I was like, no. Here's the thing. I maintain this attitude that I cannot censor myself or any publicity I do for the game by accommodating for every lunatic or weak-willed individual that is out there. I'm very sorry, but if we go down that route, you'll get me to the point where I can't post anything at all. And I can't publicize the game at all. No. Understand. I just realized. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of a holdover from my time working in politics, but I know that unfortunately there is no escape from lunatics. There's just no escape from them. There's just none. And the best you can do is just, the best you can do is just handle them like I did the kid in this case. I was like, oh, they're on Tumblr. Peace Island doesn't have a Tumblr account. I opened up a Tumblr account for Peace Island, and of course, that guy got his little, troll battalion together, and they successfully actually hacked a couple of our social media sites. After which, I immediately reported all of those people to Tumblr, and all of those guys got their Tumblr accounts deleted, or removed. You see, that's how you handle things like that. And it's just very simple. If somebody attacks you at a certain place, you go on the offensive. You meet them on that ground. And it's very simple. And ever since then, I've not had another one of those eruptions until lately. And let's see here. Because the bus needs work. I'm just going to go through this list. Because right now we have this problem. Gas, butterfly. Drop collision sounds. Check. Oh, yeah. I wanted to see. Think Vision is just not working on the interiors. I want to see if that's just a weirdness thing on my side. Because all of a sudden, the interiors seem very, very dim. Let me see. Yeah. Because I know I brought in a specific flash for that. Pains my heart to know that I released that. And it has to do with Steam. I mean, the last idiot eruption. I mean, well, no, here's the thing. I'm sorry. I'm just going to lay this down for you because in both cases, these we're dealing with apparently people that I started game developing, 34 years ago, and it seems that the most of these, I have a feeling that most of these people, the two people, these crazy people, weren't even born when I started working game development at Atari back in like 1991, I believe. Yeah, 1991. Okay, we want to move the because I mean this is something that's very hard for young people to hear, but understand when people like myself we get on the right side of 50, um, and yes, that is just an older thing going. Oh, we're fully feeling young. No, the best 3 decades of your life, and trust me, kids, on this, are going to be your 40s, your 50s, and your 60s. After that, you're crapping in your pants and you don't care. So just understand. I mean, when you're on the right side of 50, I just noticed that the kids these days, they expect us, like I said, at this age, to somehow be more tolerant. Because when I tried to discuss this with these people, these crazy people, and I go, listen, this has been my first time around the radio, and they're like, their first response is, LOL, you're that old, you should be more tolerant of my position. No, understand this isn't just me blaming other generations. Understand there's something about boomers versus other people. That's bullshit. If you're going to be angry at anybody, be angry at billionaires and the military-industrial complex, and the pharmacy and the healthcare industry that are routinely killing and screwing people all around the planet. All right, but understand there is this little problem among the younger people these days. They have this illusion that people my age should be more tolerant when they just barge in and do stupid stuff. And no, because here's the thing: when you're on this side of 50, you're going to be more consciously aware, and more than ever, every year that passes, you're getting closer to that time that you're going to be wearing diapers and not caring about that. So your time is precious on that side of that event. We don't want to waste that time listening to garbage. And again, I'm not saying garbage is exclusive to the young folks. I'm just saying that the young folks are the only people who seem to really get a burr up their butt when we don't take them seriously. And I mean, trust me, heaven knows. I keep on hearing this new thing from like the millennials and such, and like, oh, 1980s, you Generation Xers, you had a chance to fix the environment, and you didn't. Well, excuse me, we did everything we damn well could, and you're going to have about as much luck as we did. Anyway, off the subject of young versus old. I just wanted to lay that out there. And if anybody thinks that they're going to get cachet out of coming to me, acting the ass, and me like just coming back and going, you're acting the ass, and me banning you. No, you're not going to get any cachet outside of your tiny little group of friends. And quite frankly, they don't care about you either. So I will be back in just a minute to continue this discussion of the second crazy person, unless something interesting comes up in the chat. I will be back in just one moment. Let's gonna put this OBS. Oh yeah, and last night you should have just like if you could hack into cameras, you should have come here because I had my the thing open, and who knows what could have seen. It was like my secret belly dancing fetish and everything. My goodness, you could have like leveraged me for every cent I had you been able to do that. And anyway, I'll be back in a moment. right, ladies and gentlemen, back. Back. Woohoo. What happened to my, that was Death in June. Death in June stopped playing all of a sudden. All right, great, great. Oh, it's because of this lag that happens when you try and run this. Excuse me. Forgive me if I'm lagging. I'm going to get back to my subject. Just a moment. But, oh yeah, okay. What happened was, is, I hadn't been on Facebook in a while, just because really it's actually Facebook has been very good to this project, I'll say. The project initially went viral via a Facebook post. But I mean, admit what Facebook has become. I mean, it's a place where boomers hang out, and there are those weird AI generated pictures of Jesus as a shrimp. You know what I'm saying? But a couple of months ago, I think it was like yeah, it was maybe March or something like that. I went on to, I said, I'm going to go back on Facebook and check things out. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I thought it would work. Okay, damn. Okay, so all those interiors, it is way too dark. Okay, back. Okay, that's going to have to be fixed. All right. All right, we made, I definitely figured something out there. And one of the things I said is, maybe I'll check and see if there are any other, indie developer communities on there that were maybe sharing, pictures of shrimp. Is hello. Let's see. All right. Okay. He's not talking. Okay. Listen. Can I just say you're starting to really flood the chat? I mean, again, you're making it's just so itchy. Don't make me do it, guys and gals and those in between. So anyway, now let me get back to my. Oh yeah, I checked one out, and there was an indie game developer group, and what I did, I posted an image of. Let me just see. Because I just noticed as I signed up, it had been like 34 years since I started video, and since I first started working in video game development. So I posted a picture of Peace Island's most recent, like how it looks now, next to Batman Man Returns, LYX. Yeah, and next to this, which is, I'll show you what, this was the first game I ever worked on back in, open image tab. Yeah, this. This was something our boss got to do. I usually did clowns and stuff like that. So I just posted to go, I've been doing this. This is how far, not my skills have become. This is how far game development has come. Since I first started back again, in the early 90s. I just wanted to go, hey, this is how long I've been in it. This is how far the technology has come, and it's still neat. And trust me, understand. I have absolutely no problem getting negative feedback as long as it is constructive. In fact, we got this playtester, Wayne I keep forgetting whether I pronounce his name Vanderhuizen or Vanderhuizen or whatever. But man, he is just a crackerjack, and I get his bug reports with with a mix of glee and absolute dread, because I know he has found every damn last thing in there. But also, it's fantastic to know that somebody, is willing to go to that depth, and is also not afraid to just go, listen, you screwed this up. This doesn't work. He doesn't pad things. So listen, I had absolutely no problem going into this, and I know that there would be some people, etc. Oh, look at there. Oh yeah, I need to do that flyer, actually. This is a new quest we're adding, by the way. I can't go into it, but this is related to a new quest we're adding. Anyway, going back to, so I have submitted that, and I went, hey, check. This is how long I've been working in it, and this is what I've been working on back then. This is what I'm working on now. And okay, so I think the best way, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a really good shot of this, because what we want to do is we want to create a flyer that shows this butterfly. And actually what we're going to do here really quick, bring it to a new scene so I can pull it out of the background easier, less variation. This was one of the things on that big list. We had to make a flyer about this butterfly because, again, I can't give away spoilers. But anyway, getting back to my incredibly exciting narrative, let me see. Yeah, I posted it there, and you know, one or two people were, you know, they gave me a little bit of negative feedback. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right there. But we had this one kid again who was bucking the boomer trends on Facebook, I guess. And what they posted in response, I don't know whether they were trying to troll me or they, but I think what I was dealing with was somebody with like very, and I don't mean to typecast anybody because I'm on the spectrum as well as autistic. I mean, I have a hard time making eye contact, et cetera, and understanding where other people are coming from. I don't mean to, but this individual, he just had this very, a very strange way of approaching the conversation. He started off with, you know, one of these stupid things that it's supposed to sound Buddhist and intelligent, but really it's bollocks. Like, I think it was like, it does not matter how many years you have been in game development. It matters how many years game development has been in you. And number one, okay, first third of his response, let me stop him right there. If that had happened at any company that I worked for, and let me tell you, I worked for a lot of companies, we would have laughed that person. We would have fired him. We would have kicked him out of the meeting room, shut the door, locked it, and laughed at him and pointed at him through the window as he left. The level of stupidity. Again, when we get to this age, we don't have time for that. But anyway, I tried to look beyond that because their next comment on what I had uploaded, again, I'm totally cool with like constructive feedback. Absolutely no, actually, we don't need, there we go. That was the problem. I was working at perspective. Absolutely no problem with proper feedback. And negative feedback. I just hate stupid feedback is what it is. Because, but anyway, let me proceed because it's the second part of their wisdom that they decided to drop on me after that just absolutely ludicrous ChatGPT thing was the light. Basically, it was the gist of it. I don't like the lighting in that screenshot that you sent. You need to change it. And I said, okay, I have an answer to that. Let me get to, the final part of the final sentence that this guy has given me. This kid again, who wasn't even born when I first was working in game development. But anyway. By the way, I hope that individual is watching because I know they follow us on social media. I'll tell you why later, how I know. But anyway, because this is maybe something they need. All right. But anyway, the third part of their message was this very condescending keep at it, eventually you'll get it. Now, I understand if that's a thing of we're all on a message. I'm sorry, we're all on a journey somewhere, and eventually we will all make it. Maybe it was that, but to me it came across as an absolutely condescending statement. Because here's what happened. After I got those three sentences, I had to go, okay, who is this? Who is this kid? And I looked up, and they did games that were like these really primitive pixel art things that didn't even have lighting. So I just had to go, what I'm going to do is, considering the absolute snide nature of this person's feedback, I'm just going to give as well as I get. And but here's what I responded with. I ignored that first part because it was just so laughable. I mean, I could not take that seriously in any way. Sorry. And then I said, here's the problem with the lighting that you don't seem to understand. That lighting was. I'm just going to do it by the keyboard. That lighting, the lighting settings were generated over the course of many, many hours by my partner, and understand in the process of choosing those colors and that lighting, we were trying to emulate the style of Andrew Wyeth, who is a very famous artist here in Maine, very famous worldwide artist known. And maybe you don't understand because your games don't have any lighting in them. And I finished with, but don't worry, eventually you will get it. And that's the most polite way that I could respond to something like that. That was just like, again, this weird, just started off with nonsense, followed up with ignorance, and then ended with snideness. And I sent that in, and I said, hey, done with that. And I think this was another situation where, I mean, honest to goodness, I think perhaps this was like it was in the case of the person who gotten like really pants in a bundle over my Twitter post. I got the impression that was the biggest thing that had happened to that kid's life in a very long time. Because I think, again, that interaction between this individual, again, this kid and myself, it was over several months ago. But I mean, when I got onto, I mean, I totally forgotten about it, moved on, and you're like, well, how come you know everything about it? That's how come I worked in politics. I have a very, very good memory for details and events, so I can, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, it just comes with the territory of working with in politics. It's like I met a person, somebody like 7 years apart. I was like, yeah, you were reading the Samuel Delany novel, Dahlgren, when I last saw you, right? Yeah, I just do that. Anyway, and I can also tell you that that woman had blonde hair. She was about 5'7", slightly overweight. I just remember this stuff. So anyway, I moved on from that. But apparently, again, this was one of the biggest things that had ever happened in this kid's life. Because what happened, when I got onto Steam, I discovered this guy had posted on our Steam page about how evil I was. And just like that kid who had posted that thing to Tumblr expecting so many people to feel sorry for them and rally to their defense, and just because apparently I'm, 10 times worse than Hitler, Anyway, I apparently, I've seen his droppings on other social media. And again, this is another situation where I have to wonder, am I insane? But no, I am not insane. I am dealing with insane people. Because what you come at me, and again, understand that soon after that conversation we had, and by the way, let me follow this up. Like I said, I sent him. He sent me that very snide feedback, and I sent him the response, which was, I'm going to ignore the stupidest thing you said. I'm going to address the second thing you said, because apparently you don't know much about lighting. And I'm going to follow up by giving the exact same thing to you that you gave to me by following. This guy responded, I explained to him, we're doing lighting this specific way because we are emulating this style, this lighting, and this colors they're used by this artist. His response was, how come you're saying you're trying to do it for artistic reasons when you just did it wrong? Just change it. And that was one of those situations where it's like, I got a flashback to that film, Idiocracy. I mean, what kind of person am I dealing with? So anyway, after that I left the gaming group over on Facebook because if this is the kind of conversations that we're going to have on this, I have no time for this. But apparently that kid had a hell of a lot more time, because I discovered last night, as I started to get great access to our Steam page again, this person has been leaving his droppings there. and leaving his droppings elsewhere. And I'm apparently going to have to go back and just clean up again after another one of these. Because in the end, that was a conversation that was about three back and forths, and this guy that was the biggest thing that he spent literally weeks following us on social media and leaving his droppings all across there because I don't think I'm crazy. I just cannot say that I'm the crazy one in this circumstance. I just can't. And I just cannot adjust my behavior because there are some people out there that are going to behave in such an irrational manner. And you can't tell me that that is not an irrational manner. I'm very sorry, but there's this thing. Come on, kid. Get on with life. Well, if you'd gotten on with life, you wouldn't even know him. You would just forgotten this person. Oh, apparently he lives in your head full time. Yeah. I guess if that makes you feel better, kid. If that makes you feel better on that way to think of it that way. No, if you're saying that way, it means that woman that I met at 7 years apart on a campaign event that was reading that novel Dahlgren, she lives in my head rent free as well. Hey, I guess every human that I've ever met lives rent free in my head. Good. No, I got plenty of space for them. Anyway. It's just, I just have to wonder when these things are going on. Am I crazy? But I do not believe I am. Because, again, here's the thing. I've been around human beings for 54 years now. I know how humans behave. And when I'm confronted with this kind of behavior, no amount of gaslighting could tell me that I'm the crazy one in this situation. No, I'm maybe when I'm in my late 60s and I start to get dementia because all the lead that I was exposed to as a kid, it starts kicking in. Then you could start doing that to me. But for now, no. This is a no gaslighting zone here. So anyway, we're gonna do a fly. I'm glad I was able to isolate that. I was thinking. And when these things happen, it's just a minor thing, but it's the one thing that just sort of sticks in my head. The trolls don't bother me so much. The scammers don't bother me all that much anymore, even though I'll never forget what they did to the project, and I will never stop mentioning Mike Sharanovsky, Mike Bonafide, and Brett Dunham, the three people who scammed us, and et cetera, et cetera. You're never getting off the hooks, kiddos. Just understand that. Anyway. But really, when I see somebody, they're not so much interested in trolling me, but this tiny little event apparently was apparently the biggest thing in their lives, that they literally decided they are going to declare war on the basis of that. And it just, again, that weird, the meme from Tim and Eric's awesome show. Of that, I just don't get it. I just don't get it at all. And I know again. It's because you're old and you don't get it. No, again, this is a matter of sanity versus insane behavior. What I really should do. Unfortunately, I had that person's droppings removed off Steam before I got a screenshot which had their real name on it, because really I didn't care, but I really would like to get in touch with them. I find out. I'm just curious. I sort of, when things like this happen, I sort of feel like Hank Hill in that episode where where Bobby gets into that Wicca coven with David Cross's character, voiced by David Cross. I'm like, hey, I hate to bother you, but I can't help but notice that you have a lot of time on your hands. Have you considered stamp collecting? You can go to your local post office. You can go to your local post office. And and maybe find a better way to spend your time. I just don't. Okay. See, I've gotten rid of everybody. We're back down to one viewer, baby. I kind of like that. I'm not insane. I'm outsane. You, puppy, you've earned yourself one good boy token. that will forgive you for assish behavior in the future. I like that. You're out Satan. I've never heard that. Hmm. But anyway, now that I've talked about young people that make me angry, and we have one person who's like, I don't know. How's your puppet project going? Puppet project. Why is it not letting in? There we go. Yeah, I met the woman who was reading the the Dahlgren novel at a campaign event for I believe, a Green Party candidate back then. And I look back now and I realize, boy, that was a mistake. If you're not aware, the Green Party USA is a agent of Russian influence, and you're probably, Grandpa Eric's going crazy again. That's another talk. But do I want to get into politics again? No, I don't think so. So I've been looking at this for a while. What I was going to do is we need to create a document, a flyer in InDesign based on this. Yes, you quite puppet club. Yes. Okay, cool. Well, yeah. I mean, heck, if it's we're all into our own stuff, man. All right. Actually, no. I want a new one because we just want to save this. Because here's the thing: is this this one butterfly here is actually an endangered species, and I won't go too much beyond that. There's supposed to be a there's supposed to be flyers around town that say, "Hey, if you see these, leave them alone," etc., etc. Piece of 2D art. I think I have a clip art folder, right? Clip art, excellent. But all right. So yeah, and creative writing of documents. How long have I been doing this now? For an hour and 7 minutes. Hey. Wow. And the first hour was just dealing with stuff that was just confounding to me. Anyway. Yeah, I just don't understand that. I mean, when these little bursts of insanity intrude upon my world, I don't know how to deal with them. Let's see here. Yeah, clip art, sorry. Okay. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention is I think I made my position on, how we're removing AI art and relying on human-made content, with the exception of a few very select instances. And I'm going to leave you with this before I go away for a break. Again, I'm old enough to remember, the beginning of automation. And anybody can read Kurt Vonnegut's book, Player Piano, about automation. Now, understand, for all those decades, all the blue-collar workers who lost their jobs as a result of automation, you know what they were told decade after decade after decade? Well, that's progress. Why don't you take some night courses and get a better job? Well, that was said by, people who had skilled trades. Like the artists, like the actors, like the musicians, etc., etc. And here's the thing. As a visual artist myself, I completely identify with the artist's plight in the face of AI generative content. But I have this thing for fairness. we as a society, well, here's my view on this. Again, for about 70 years, you had these people that were writing newspaper articles about, oh, this is the march of progress. It leads to better stuff. Go to night courses and get a better job. Now that those people who wrote those articles are having their jobs threatened by AI, you know what my advice is to those folks? It's the march of progress. Why don't you take some night courses and get a better job? We have to be consistent. Otherwise, we're spouting bullshit. I'm just saying. Anyway, I will be back in a moment. Oops. Pardon me, a little bit of Brussels sprout down the wrong pipe. Well, speaking of old stuff, that's something that I learned just like in the last few years. Brussels sprouts today are a completely different thing than what they were when I was but a wee guy. I mean, because man, I mean, apparently they completely re-engineered it. Because when I was a kid, Brussels sprouts, I mean, they still have that same smell. But man, when I was growing up, those were just like they tasted like disappointment. Is the only way I could say. And these days, man, I mean, they were every child up until probably about like the mid 2000s. I mean, it was their worst vegetable ever. But let me tell you, I can't get enough of them these days. Love me some sprouts. Okay. Yeah, we need a flyer that goes blah blah blah. Geez, this requires research because I don't know what those kind of documents look like. Want it to be accurate. But anyway, we can go back to our list here. Now I'm getting some projects like some items like 1/3 way done. Hold on, is that? Oh, I thought that was Tool for a moment. Sometimes Rome. He sounds like Tool. I'm not. I'm not a big. Laura's a huge Pussifer, such and such. You're asking me questions that I really can't answer, Bogdos. Uh, Jeez. Now, this one guy, he identifies window key M is like a shortcut for minimization. I mean, I never used that. I always used window D for desktop. But apparently we're having a key issue with that. That I think what that is, quite frankly, that's a Unity issue. I do not even know how to address that. That would have to be a deep dive into the Unity forums, because I try to put stuff up top that I do not have to deal with. Oh yeah, I was gonna do lobster traps before I got distracted. Dang it. So yeah, we need to go to. Okay, we figured out that the indoor lighting is not good for snake vision. We figured out that, and now we need to go to patch 30 because I wanted to check. Let's see. Oh yeah, the lobster traps. Mm. Seriously, I think I have Brussels sprouts in my sinuses. I like to, by the way, I like slice them very thin and fry them with garlic and ghee, preferably. Mm. And the traditional way to prepare them back then was to boil them, because it would just soften them and make them. I mean, they are very, very good for you. I mean, if you eat like two Brussels sprouts, it's like it gives you so much stuff that you need. I mean, it's a low budget food. Let's put it that way. Yeah, it's got to load up to see. Yeah, I don't know anything about puppeteering. I think one of my friends on Facebook was involved in that, but I haven't heard from him because, all right, let's just say he's very Catholic. I can't say anything more because it ventures into religion. I'll talk about politics, but I won't talk about it. But apparently, I don't know. Let's just say you can hear it. He has risen so many times before you're like, okay, let's look at this analytically. The story of he, the guy who has risen, is essentially God caused a woman through some asexual process to give birth to himself, who then grew up and was sacrificed to himself. And I know this is a simplification because, well, when you boil out the BS, that's what it is. God caused a woman to give birth to himself, an iteration of himself that would later grow up and be tortured to death in the most gruesome way possible at the sacrifice to God 1.0. And even though God 2.0 died, he rose, as you keep saying, and he went and lived with God 1.0 forever. I understand it's a matter of faith. I understand that a lot of people could look beyond BS, but there's, again, this old phrase, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Ah, there we go. Let's just check this again. Come on, why are you zooming in when I want to zoom out, baby? Just gonna grab that, zoom in. Yep, this is the exciting phase of game development, babies. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where exactly you guys. You know what? I'm trying to remember if I know any other people that were very much into puppets. Tammy Faye Baker was very much into puppets. But I guess, I mean, that's another situation where I'd have to be old and go, okay, kids, Tammy Faye Baker was the wife of a televangelist that was quite popular in the 1980s. Okay. Because I thought I put lobster traps behind Boyd's house right here, and I'm kind of miffed that that was lost. Yeah, it looks like they're gone. That's bollocks. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to add that to the list. Well, it's already placed lobster tags. Replace lobster traps. Because understand, I mean, it isn't a main island unless you've got big piles of lobster traps. Let me show you. I did exactly what I said and go to images. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if they. Yeah, they're usually, I mean, huge stacks of them. I mean, hundreds of them, like here. This, you see, they'd usually be in like arrays, and they still are to a great extent, but they're having to adjust them because again, the oceans are dying. I mean, lobster now in Maine is as expensive as it used to be in New Jersey, I think. Anyway. Yeah, the oceans are dying, if you don't know. 20, probably about 20, sometime between 20 and 50 is like they're gonna. The critical point of carbon absorption. It's gonna kill coral and it's gonna permanently disrupt all of that. But anyway, you know, all the stuff that I have to finish right now is just such boring stuff. I mean, I know the stuff that I've been broadcasting up until now. It's just been absolutely riveting, but fixing all the rest of this is going to require just even stuff that's even more boring. I mean, it's sort of like the Church of the Subgenius. I said, you know, there's going to come a time when we experience a boredom so intense we have to create a new word for it: techno boredom. So anyway, and yeah, it looks like we've driven away our puppet guys. So anyway, hey, nighty night, folks. I gotta get to work on the rest of this. Take care.